Good morning, podcasters. Welcome to Going On Daily Live. I'm your host, Becky, here with Ron. Oh, wait, I'm backwards. Ron and Kenny. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, temporarily. Good morning.
Temporarily, yes.
Lily's having some technical difficulties.
That's okay. We like seeing your face around here.
Still clean shaven too. Well,
Still clean
almost
shaven-ish. It looks fairly scrubby to me.
a little bit.
That's okay.
Still better than normal.
That's fair. Kenny's got his little gray beard going on there. I like it. Okay, well, we've got a really good show today. Should be an interesting one. Kenny doesn't think that my topics are going to be good today. He said they were boring. So we'll
Really?
see. We'll see what Kenny comes up with
The
here.
first one is something that I was gonna probably do tomorrow, but you took it.
But I took it. Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. It's all good.
All good. Good morning, Hugo. Hugo is here. Okay, well, before we dive into it, let's tell the people where they can find us. They can find us on, let's go YouTube first this time, at Rhode Island Broadcasting. Oh, yeah, beside me. It's so weird to go backwards like this. There we go. YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting. You can subscribe over there. Head over to Facebook at RI Broadcasting, and you can like and follow the page and send stars over there. And finally, to watch it live, you can head over to Twitch at RI_broadcasting, where you can send the show bits. Finally, head over to our Patreon at RI Broadcasting. Get yourself a mug, some swag, support the show, keep it going.
I don't have my mug today. I didn't expect to be on.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Well, what do we got first today, you guys? Oh, volcano stuff. This is me. All right. Are you ready for this? Kenny, this topic that isn't cool, I guess. That isn't.
All right.
You should know this, though, by the way.
You should know this. So scientists warn that a major U.S. volcano is moving closer to an eruption as earthquake activities are increasing. So I don't know if you know about this mountain or this volcano. It's called Mount Spur, and it is in Alaska. So, I mean, obviously that doesn't really affect you in the lower 48, right? If anything.
So if we don't know about this, I'll ask her.
Okay, good. Delete this.
Hey, I like that. I like that.
No, terrible.
I like that. I like
Becky,
that.
before you go on, Lily is here, so I am going to bring her in, and I am going to drop out, so the screen's going to be moving around a little bit.
That's all good.
All right.
Just letting you know.
All good.
Do that.
Oh, okay.
Bye, everybody.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry. Good morning. Hi.
That's okay. You are a little bit quiet.
Morning.
Oh, a little bit quiet. I can turn on my speaker.
Yeah, turn up your microphone there, and we are.
All right.
Good to go.
Now? Is this better?
It is no better.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It happens sometimes. We've got some technical difficulties, and it is what it is. Maybe while you mess around with that, I'll just let everybody know that this is Lily. She has joined our show. And
hi, Lily.
Hi. I'm so sorry you guys can't hear me.
That's okay.
It's fine on my end.
Yeah, it's like very quiet. Is it quiet for you, Kenny?
Yeah, it's quiet for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Well. Oh, it sounds like that might be a little bit better.
Oh.
No.
No.
Definitely.
Better or no?
Oh, no, not at all. No, it's actually very loud and robotic and like
right.
fuzzy. Oh, say something now.
Is this better?
Or well,
Oh.
like you're louder, but now it sounds like a robot.
I know. That's weird. I don't understand. I just
Yeah, that
totally
is weird.
unplugged everything, and now I'm just going off the speakers.
Okay,
I sound like a robot?
yeah,
I have no.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, why don't you stick her on mute for a moment here? Maybe she can mess around for a little bit, and then we will do ours. Maybe, hopefully, in the meantime, she can figure it out. Okay, so once again, scientists are warning that a U.S. volcano is moving closer to eruption. So this is Mount Spur in Alaska. It's about 11,000 feet tall, and it's only 81 miles away from the state's largest city. So it's recently experienced some increased seismic activity, ground surface displacement, and gas emissions, which are obviously like not a good sign. Signs of an
Mhm.
impending eruption. 81 miles is not really far as like a volcano erupting goes, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like 81 miles for me is like, I don't know, I can't even think because we have kilometers. Gosh, that'd be like 120. Yeah, I mean, like an hour, hour and a half probably
Yeah.
drive, hour 20 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe something like that. And I don't know. I would think like if we get forest
I'm
fires in the
totally
area.
frozen.
Oh, we can hear you.
Oh, right. We can hear you.
Yeah, Lily, we can hear you.
Oh, well, a
No
little
issue.
feedback.
We can hear you.
Oh,
Anyway, I'll just keep going here. So yeah, last year, this Mount Spur has been, well, since last year, it's been very, very
I don't know
active.
how they're
Okay,
saying.
so, okay. Oh, okay. Well,
all
let's pop
right.
our heads up here.
Oh,
What a technical difficulty day. That is
mhm.
okay. It happens. Okay, there we go.
All right. All right. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Hey, you know what? It happens. Sometimes technology ain't technologying, and that is what it is.
It's what it is. It's what it
It
is,
is
girl.
what it is. Okay. So, anyways, since April 2024, this mountain has seen
Mhm.
a lot of seismic activity. However, in the 6 months following, so, you know, May, June, July, August, September, October of last year, the rate of events have increased from an average of 30 per week to an average of 125 events per week. So, you know, they've detected hundreds of small tremors in the past few days in the 30-mile radius of the volcano. So, this tells me that there's obviously an eruption that's about to happen.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. You
oh,
know, it's going to be interesting to see how bad this is.
Yes.
Um, I mean, I don't want to sound, awful, but I'm glad it's in Alaska and not, say,
Right.
Washington.
Well, okay, so funny that you say that. So the original
exactly.
story that I was going to do had said that Mount St. Helens is also
Right.
a little active lately,
Yeah.
which, as we know, in 1980, this thing went and it was a huge disaster, right? Killed a lot of people, destroyed a lot
Yeah.
of area. Um, so, I
Yeah.
mean, anytime you have a volcano in near towns, like it's gonna, at some point, it's gonna go on. Maybe not in your lifetime, maybe in your kid's lifetime, but at some point that thing's got to go,
Yeah.
especially along the Pacific there. You know, you've got tectonic plates, you've got, what is it, the San Andreas fault line down a little more south that, you know, that works its way up this
The
way.
one we have to be
Obviously.
worried about is Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Because if that goes, and they had a new vent open up, like a
Oh,
new,
interesting.
I don't know if it
There you
was
go.
just air or if
Like
it
a
was
air
water,
release pocket kind of thing.
but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not a good sign either.
No, it's not.
No.
Definitely
You
not.
know, I'm
It
looking
needs
at
somewhere
all
to
the
go.
problems. I'm looking at all the problems across the globe.
Yes.
And to me, it feels like the earth is trying to cleanse itself.
Well, it would start by getting rid of the west coast of USA.
That could happen. I mean, just saying. Just saying. You know,
Yeah.
Texas has had a lot of earthquakes lately,
Mm-hmm.
all along the San Andreas. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is what it is, right? It's going to be some new waterfronts coming.
I know. Alberta, I'm telling you, when British Columbia falls into the ocean, Alberta then becomes coastal, which is where I
Yeah.
live, which, I mean, I'm not complaining, minus all the people who
Ooh.
will die. But anyways, back to Mount Spur here. It says
Wait,
that
what?
no,
Wait. Oceanfront property? That's what you want?
Yeah,
forget them.
listen.
We got Ocean State property.
Exactly. The problem is right on the border of British Columbia and Alberta is a huge mountain range, the Rocky Mountains. So it's not like you're directly on the ocean. You got big mountains in the way, but it'd be a lot quicker to get to. Not that the ocean, the Pacific side up
Yeah, you'll
north
just be able
is
to
very
take your
warm.
snowmobile.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I actually don't own a snowmobile.
What?
Funnily enough,
In
I know.
Canada?
I just use my feet and my car.
Snowboard or nothing like that, or
No, I hate the snow. I don't like it. I'm not good at outdoor.
Well, I hate to tell
cold
you,
things.
Becky, you live in the wrong place.
I
yes,
know.
exactly.
Listen,
"I hate
if
the snow."
someone told me in 2009 to not get knocked up, so I'd have to be stuck with their, father for 18 years, I would have been gone long ago. But the thing is, you can't take your kids away from the grandparents or their father to go live somewhere tropical. You just can't. It's not right.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because he would
yeah,
never
why
allow
not?
it, and they would never be okay with that. So
yeah.
here I,
The
here
guy
I
doesn't
sit.
mean anything.
Right? What?
Well,
Sperm donor. Sperm
like,
donor.
he's their dad, so and the fact
yeah.
is I'm married again, and he has in-laws and I have parents, so it's like it's just not right. But you know what, my kid's almost 15 and 13, so the countdown is on for when I move somewhere tropical. Okay, and maybe by then it'll be
5
Alberta.
years. You can move away. He'll see you in 3 to 5 years.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, overrated.
Or
what?
get off his butt and go see him.
Listen,
right?
they
Overrated, right? Exactly, right?
they say that once upon a time, like prehistoric, Alberta was a tropical climate based on some of the bones and findings. So, we could get back there. Tropical climate, Alberta, I'm okay with that. Anyways,
Well, the
we're
whole
talking about
Earth is
casinos.
shifting, so why
For
not?
sure.
I mean,
Yeah, why not?
it could just turn sideways, and then all of a sudden, we're on the equator.
Exactly. That sounds pretty all right to me. All right, so back to this earthquake here. So a large magnitude earthquake actually struck near Petersville. This is in Alaska. It's only about 30 miles northwest of Mount Spur, but it struck last Wednesday. It was a 3.7 magnitude. So it's not huge, but it's not small by any means. The earthquake happened 65 miles below the surface, which is something that would typically be associated with tectonic plate movement. However, since Mount Spur is becoming restless, its activity may be linked to magma rising from deeper in the Earth's mantle. So, I could just read every page of this, but long and short of it, she's about to blow. Okay, she's angry.
Yeah.
She's going. So,
They've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, and
yeah, that's right.
it's coming. It's eventually going to go.
Yeah.
How many people are in that?
It didn't say
city?
which town it was. It said it was close to the biggest city. So what is that? Juneau? No.
10 people?
No. Okay, let's look here. Mount Spur.
All
Let's
right.
zoom out. Let me look this up. Okay, guys.
All right.
I don't Anchorage. It's got to be Anchorage, maybe. Is that the biggest city? Hey,
Can
there.
you guys hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Oh, much better.
Oh,
much
perfect.
better.
Okay.
Much
Perfect.
better.
We
Yes.
did it. Woo, woo.
All right.
It
Hi,
happens.
guys. Sorry
Hi,
about
this
that.
is Lily. That's okay. Don't even stress.
Lily.
We're just finishing up this first topic here about this volcano in Alaska it may be ready to blow here. So it says that there are 3 scenarios scientists are talking about. The first is the mountain could undergo a failed eruption where no magma reaches the surface and the earthquake activity, ground deformation, and surface heating slowly decreases over several weeks or months. Okay, that would be the best case scenario, right? The second outcome could be that there's an eruption similar in magnitude to 1953 and 1992 eruptions, when were the last time that this Mount Spur blew. They said one or more of these explosive events last 1 or a few hours would produce ash clouds carried downwind for hundreds of miles, and the uninhabited area of Mount Spur would be inundated with pyroclastic flows, mud flows, ballistic showers. So that would be bad. Finally, the third scenario is that the summit vent of Mount Spur could erupt. This would likely melt large volumes of glacial ice, which could lead to volcanic mud flow and other hydrologic hazards. So first case scenario would be good. Second and third would not be good. So anyway, just keep your minds open, your eyes open, really, for if you live in Alaska and maybe even British Columbia, Yukon in Canada, because this could erupt at any point. So that's it. That's what you missed here today, Lily.
Well, it sounds like some fascinating stuff. I did not know that.
Yeah, sketch.
So, okay.
We were also saying that there was some news about Mount St. Helens in Washington as well, although I couldn't find a lot of information on it. So I wanted to do this one in Alaska just because it's, a little more concrete evidence at this point. So East versus West on today's show. Yes, right. All right, so let's dive into the next topic here. This is you, Kenny. This is upcoming what is it? Ron wrote bionics. That's not right.
Bionics? No, that's not
bionics.
Right. Biopics. Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yes,
let's hear it.
So recently I seen the documentary of Bob Dylan with Timothy Chalamet. It was okay. It was all right. And so last year I looked at the Whitney Houston one, Whitney, which is excellent. I'm a big fan of Whitney. I love her music. She's an iconic. So I was thinking which ones are coming up and which ones would be exciting to watch. So I got a couple, and I want you to, let's see what you think. The one with Bruce, there's one with Bruce Springsteen coming up about with Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, I could see that. Okay,
which talks about the boss and how he made the making of the album Nebraska, which is pretty good. Nebraska was a pretty good album.
All right.
I don't know about this one. It's been too much. There's a Michael Jackson one coming out, which is like, no disrespect, but I'm sick of Michael. I'm sick of seeing Michael. There's like 20,000 there's 20,000 biopics and nobody gets it right.
Okay. Do we know the actor that's playing?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Jafar Jackson is portraying Michael Jackson in a biopic scheduled in 2025.
Jafar Jackson. I don't even know who that is. Is he related with the same last name?
I think cousin or nephew or something.
Okay, I was going to say he looks a lot like Little Michael. He doesn't look like End Days Michael, but he looks a lot like Little Michael. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is this going to be? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Is this going to be like a huge production? Like, is this going to be a lot of a huge budget, or is this a smaller budget?
Probably a smaller budget. Probably a smaller budget on that one. We got one, Linda Ronstadt, played by Selena Gomez. Is set to portray a country rock legend. Yeah, and that's directed by David O. Russell. Okay. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Madonna.
Oh.
Played by Julia Garner.
Oh, the girl from Ozark and with the wild blonde hair. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fred Astaire, played by Tom Holland.
Okay, I could see that as well.
Really? Okay, that's interesting. I guess I could see that.
He's a good little dancer, light on his toes, that guy.
The same aesthetic, the same body build, I would assume.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Men were small back then.
Yeah.
Okay. And Janis Joplin, played by Shailene Woodley.
Oh.
I don't know who that is.
Shailene Woodley?
Yeah.
Shailene Woodley?
Shailene, yeah.
Oh, what that is
She's
pretty,
like
okay.
What are those movies? Insurgent and
Divergent movies, Fault in
the Stars, or something like that.
I mean, I think she's great. I think she's a great actress.
Controversial. I think she's put herself into some hot water a few times, but I think for the most part. Oh, how about this? She was dating Aaron Rodgers, Kenny. I feel like you should know that.
Oh, her. Okay.
Let's speak his language of football or baseball or whatever sport that guy plays.
They're not together anymore. Right?
I don't think so.
No. Poor Aaron Rodgers, man. If you think you're having a bad couple years,
literally
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Literally.
All right. Sorry.
He gets like
And
the
last,
hottest chicks, but like cannot keep them, which is weird because he is not. I don't think he offers a whole lot personally,
I
but
mean, he
like,
did back in the day.
yeah,
No one
fair,
bets on himself. No one bets on themselves more than Aaron Rodgers, I feel, in the
right?
last couple of
Yeah,
years.
true.
Yeah.
He's pretty outspoken these days as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, Kenny, go on.
Sorry,
and
Kenny.
last, it's all right. And last but not least, we have the Beatles.
Oh,
But the strange thing about this is the biopics has 4 different movies to it.
oh, cool.
Okay.
I like
It's
that.
Yeah,
Like a
what?
Ringo
yeah.
movie, a George movie, a John movie, a Paul movie.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
exactly. Yep.
And do they all? I want to know if they all like collaboratively come together in
Overlap.
the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's a good
And it's all
that's a
in
good
one
question.
movie or 4
Yeah, all
movies
in
and
the
then in
movie.
one?
Yeah, 4
Okay.
movies in one. Yep.
4 mini
Which is
movies. Interesting.
yep.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited to see that one more than any of the other ones.
That one, yeah, more
Really?
than the
Really?
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson one or
I
Madonna
mean,
one.
maybe that one. I'm not a
Madonna
huge
one.
Madonna fan. I'm not a Linda Ronstadt fan. Like, I wasn't a
Okay.
Bob Dylan fan, or like Bruce Springsteen. I
Yeah.
don't, whatever. Like, they're fine. They're iconic. I would watch the
Mhm.
shows, but like, I wouldn't go out of my way like I would the Beatles.
Yeah, if it was free on
Yeah.
Peacock,
Exactly.
you would stream it. Yeah, I'm not a
Exactly.
big Bob Dylan fan. I
No,
think all
definitely
his stuff is the same long,
whiny.
drawn out, vocal, whiny. Yeah, but I mean, he was very influential for that time. I
Totally.
get it. He was a pioneer, and I feel like that's why he was so successful because he was that voice for that time.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to listen to him. Like, I'm really feeling some Bob Dylan right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I'm while I'm washing dishes. Nope, not going to
Yeah,
do
no,
it.
I feel the same way. But that being said, maybe I would with Madonna, even though I don't love her stuff. There was a couple albums I was into, but
Mhm.
for the most part, I'm not like, oh, Madonna, so awesome. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with these movies. Like, it's always interesting to see into their lives. Now, I hope that they're going to be accurate because, Freddie Mercury's my guy, right? My favorite ever. But Bohemian Rhapsody wasn't super accurate.
No.
They took some artistic license with it, changed some details. So, I wasn't really into that. Like, for example, on the movie, they have him saying in 1985, just before Live Aid, I'm dying of AIDS, blah, blah, blah. However, we know that like he died in 91 or 92. He didn't tell anybody until the day before he died that he had it.
Exactly.
So like, why do that? If you're doing a biopic, why change that?
I did not know he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe his closest friends, but the public did not know. So, and I don't even think he knew because I mean, realistically, like back then, I don't think you were living for 7 years with AIDS.
Nope, he was not.
I can understand why he didn't. I did not know that he didn't tell anybody. Which reminds me, you guys know obviously Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
The great Black Panther, great
Mm-hmm.
actor. He didn't tell anybody about him dying of cancer either. I think it was all like a shock to us when we found out that he had passed.
Which is so interesting because like as soon as I got cancer, I was like, I have to tell everybody. Like I didn't want anyone to just see me waste away or like me disappear one day and nobody have any idea why. Like I was very vocal about it, but I guess it's different when you're a celebrity. I don't have cameras following me around being like, Becky went to chemo today, there she is puking in a parking lot, like nothing like that. So I guess I could see why somebody would do that.
I understand, but I mean, obviously, close people. But yeah, interesting. I did not know that. And by the way, I mean, since I'm new, are you in remission?
I am in remission. Yeah,
okay.
I've been in remission for about a year and 3 months now.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my podcast. Ron says, why don't you ever promote your own podcast on the show? Because I don't know, I don't think to do that. But my podcast is called Two Girls Without Cancer. It's about a friend and I who both went through it at the same time. So,
okay,
there's my little plug.
Let's take that a listen. Okay,
yeah, there's my plug for today. All right, Kenny. Before I go to the next topic here, is that it as far as documentaries and biopics?
Yes.
You got more for us. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, then this is up to you, Lily. We are talking true crime.
Okay, so since this is my first show, I could go on and on about almost anything, but I really wanted to have like something that I had kind of done my own research on. And I mean, I have my own podcast. I don't care to plug it or anything like that. But because I have done this for the podcast that I have that will be released,
you gotta plug it. You gotta plug it.
Well,
you gotta plug
it's
it.
called It's called
Thank
Day in the
you.
Life of an Ass. It's coming out.
Day in the life of an ass. I love it.
We're still
Me
researching.
too.
We haven't launched it
Mhm.
yet. But
Mhm.
my co-host came out with this great idea about true crime monetization, how people are creating off of true crime, and we never ever think about the victims. I mean,
Right.
it's sensationalized. It's everywhere. I mean, people are, they fall asleep to it. How many women, or maybe men too, right? Say they fall asleep to it. It's comforting to them. And I just went down this rabbit hole of how much do these true crime content creators actually do give back to the community. And after there are hundreds of wannabe content creators. And I don't think that we realize that a lot of these creators do not get the permission from the victims' families. And because these stories are told over and over and over and over again, you are re-traumatizing the victims' families. For instance, Dahmer, the
Right.
Netflix
I was
movie,
gonna say that.
they never ask the family for that information. And they don't pay any kind of settlement or any kind of
Yeah.
monies or anything like that to the
That's what I
families.
heard the family saying, like, the least you could do was take some of this profit, because obviously that was a huge success,
Oh, yes.
and at least, I don't wanna say reparations or anything like that, but, at least give a bit to the families. Yes, granted, this was 30 years ago. They've moved on with their lives. I'm sure they're not eh, I don't know. Like, I just think at the end of the day, out of respect, knowing that this is going to be a mega hit, knowing that you've made millions and millions of dollars off it, at least throw these guys a bone, right? Like,
But of
even
course they're
like
not. It's
20,000. No.
capitalism.
Yeah,
It's
of
corporate
course.
America. They're not going to do that. But what's fascinating with the content creators is that you will notice a lot of their stories are not past 50 years because there wasn't that much information back then.
Right.
So they
Yes.
only stick to stories that are, within 50 years because there's a plethora of information
Right.
about these stories. So basically what I'm getting at is that it's lazy journalism
Yeah, I could see
for
that.
views and for likes. So imagine I'm on my podcast or YouTube and it's someone that has passed and you're like, yeah, and she was brutally murdered and essayed or something like that. By the way, have a great day, subscribe. I got a link to my
Right.
Patreon and have a good day. I mean,
Yeah.
I think after a while when content creators start wanting to do a true crime, back in the day, maybe they wanted to bring some awareness to the case. But at this point, everyone is so desensitized to the fact that we hear these stories all the time. And you don't realize that these are actually
Human
victims,
beings.
human
Yeah.
beings,
With
and their
family.
stories being told over and over and over and over again. Imagine the worst day of your life, something that was embarrassing to you.
Yeah.
And then a stranger out there somewhere is constantly telling your story without your permission over and over and over again, and then making money off of it. So
Totally.
I deep dive into who actually donates. And
Right.
there is scrutiny with all these top content creators. I think Crime Junkie podcast is probably the best one that does give back. They've given like 800,000 or $1 million.
Ashley and Britt. Yeah.
Yeah. But Kendall Ray has probably the worst
Really?
reputation for this. Yes. So
Interesting. I'm gonna look her up. I don't even know who
yeah,
that one is. I
there is
listen to
so
Crime
much
Junkie.
controversy on Kendall Ray and how she
Okay.
is monetizing off of these families.
Good to know.
And with true crime, you can't go anywhere now because it
Yes,
is a
true.
billion-dollar industry. I think YouTube
Right.
alone makes $2 billion. And in
Wow.
2021, the ads on like Spotify and Apple for podcasting was $700 million revenue in ads
Wow.
for true crime. So it's money. It is money. It's not going anywhere. And I just feel that this is kind of wrong. And well, what could we do better? The only thing we could do better is just bring awareness and hopefully listen to the podcast creators that are actually benefiting the victims.
Well, interviewing the victims. How can we support? We're going to set up a GoFundMe after the show for, things like that, right? Or I'm going to donate.
People do that. People do that. But at one point, greed takes over. Now you got a bigger team. Everybody needs a paycheck. You got to do the editing. We got to get the co-hosts. We got to get the guests. We got to do the journalism. And then slowly, I need a bigger house. I need more equipment. I need a nicer car.
For sure.
And slowly, the victims are the ones that you actually don't need to talk to because there are a lot of information, public information that you could just Google and look up at the police station or in the files. So, I mean,
what? I've never looked at it like that, but you're so dead on with this. Like, really, what you're saying for a family who needs to be re-traumatized. And I'm thinking too, like, just to back this up, I am like chronically forgiving. Okay. So I think, a lot of people mess up. They do some horrible things. I do think that people can change. So I'm thinking like someone who did something horrible, and I don't necessarily mean like they raped and murdered, whatever, but like they've done something bad and they're trying to make amends for it. They're trying to live their life, whatever. And now they're like being brought to the forefront again. Like, this is this person. And then, maybe they had a life, but I don't know. Again, I'm very forgiving. I know there's the thought that, they shouldn't have a life after they've done something. Right.
Okay. So you're saying like them drawing out the story over and over again for someone who has already been to jail, paid the price.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Trying to just move on with their life. They have their own demons to deal with at this point. Like, well, honestly, if you take a life, that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Quite honestly.
Well, yes. I would hope so. I would hope it does. But the world we live in currently, I would hope so, but also I feel a lot of these murders or serial killers, you're probably just talking about like a one and off, right? Like a crime of passion.
Oh yeah, not serial.
Yeah, serial, I don't think they care at all. But what was I getting back to is that maybe when we listen to true crime, since it's not going anywhere because it is $1 billion business, that sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but real quick, they give more attention to the killers. And the thing is that we as women and people, because mostly, no offense, Kenny, the victims are mostly women. So when women listen to these true crime podcasts, it's because they're thinking that if I listen, I will know what not to do in my life. So I don't get, off. And there's a soothing tone to it when you're listening to content creators. It's the vibe, the way they talk,
it's
the cadence of their
like
voice. It's relaxing. So women are not actually listening to it because of the grisly details. I really think it's for protection for themselves, and it's also because of the cadence and their voice.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean. But yeah, so that was one of my topics. But yeah.
You guys ever watch South Park?
When I was younger, yeah.
Okay, so they've got an episode like murder porn. And so it's like what the mom and dads go to watch to get in the mood. They're like, oh, we got to go watch our murder porn. It's not actually porn. It's just true crime documentaries.
Okay.
But the kids start calling it murder porn. And so now every time I think of like this, exactly what you're saying, this like on a pedestal, like glorified topic of murder, it's like, yeah, it's murder porn. Everyone's like real into this. So yeah.
Murder porn. Murder porn. Yeah, no, that is a perfect word. South Park had it right again. Yeah,
as always. Welcome, Chakra, to the comments. Chakra is from Seattle, apparently.
Hi, Chakra.
A fellow Seattleite. Seattleite? What do you guys call it?
Seattleites.
Seattleites. Okay. Awesome. Well, great topic. I love that. This is the kind of stuff that we want to talk about here on this show. But let me take it in a totally different direction right now, just to keep it light here. I'm going to talk about this weird little guy behind me here. The odd time I like to do shows about animals because why not? Right? Animals are fun. You can't really see much to him in this picture because that's a little bit better. See if I get it out of the way here. So, at first glance, this is a snake, but this is not a snake. This is the Mexican mole lizard.
Okay.
So he kind of looks like a snake and a lizard and kind of like a worm. And then even a mole, like a little bit like his face in some of the pictures, he literally looks like a little mole. But it's not. So he's a reptile and he's got legs. Like I wish these pictures showed that he has legs more, just like in the front, and he can climb around.
Are those the little dots or the little pink little dots on the
No, that's like his belly, like a snake.
Okay.
But you know what? I should have saved a different picture here. While I'm talking, I will attempt to save it and then add it and whatever, all the things, if I can do like 8 things at once here. But yeah, so this guy is not a snake, not a worm. So let me find some facts here about him. So he is from the Baja California Peninsula, so in Mexico. He lives only 1 to 2 years, which is not very long. He can grow up to 24 inches long. He weighs like nothing, like 3.7 grams to 5.3 grams. So he's like nothing at all. As he matures, he turns from pink to like a light gray, white-ish color. Yeah. He eats mostly ants, termites, and ground insects. And his biggest predator is snakes, which is interesting because he looks like
he looks like a snake. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it says he is technically a legless lizard, but like you can kind of see on the picture that Ron posted here beside me, like right up at his head, he's got these like 2 little hands that pulls them along. So it's kind of creepy. There is a myth going around that these guys lurk in toilets, wriggling into the unassuming victims' nether regions.
Oh God.
Which is like a great fear. Okay, listen, I will not use an outhouse for reasons like this. Actually, a fun story here. So I will not use an outhouse. It freaks me out. You don't know what kind of bug is going to crawl inside of you. Okay.
Are they nice outhouses though? Like, do you have a preference? Like no outhouses?
If it's like a porta potty, porta john, whatever you guys call them, there at like a function, maybe a different story. If I'm camping and it's a permanent outhouse in the wildlife, absolutely not. You don't know what's in there.
In the horror movies, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'm not going to lift up the lid to look because I have to then touch it. God, yeah. So something could literally be under that lid. So I don't use those. So then I was camping this one time and I was with, my husband now, but him and I had only been together about a year maybe at this point. So he knew I didn't like outhouses. I wasn't going to use that. So he took my kids for a bike ride and I was like, hey, I have to pee so bad. I'm just going to go in the woods. Like he's not going to know, whatever, pee in the woods. So I did. And then I wipe, I pull up my pants. I go back to doing what I'm doing, like hand sanitize my hands, go back to doing what I'm doing. I feel this like itchiness. I'm like, what is that? And I stuck my hand down my pants and there was a spider down there. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I can't use an outhouse and I can't use the forest. So now I'm going to have to not eat or drink anything on a camping trip because I can't risk having to go to the bathroom again. So.
Yeah. So now you're traumatized forever.
Yeah. Now I'm traumatized forever. Luckily for us, like we have since bought a trailer that has a toilet. So that's the only time that I will go.
So the spider ruined the Mexican mole lizard's chances with you, basically.
Yeah, of finding the nether regions and getting in there. Listen, I'm a girl. I've got parts that it could crawl into, so no thank you. But apparently there is actually no recorded case. Yeah, Kenny's like, what did I get myself into today? Apparently there is actually no recorded cases of the Mexican mole lizard doing this. But the fact that it says specifically not him tells me that like maybe other animals do this. Just none with this guy. Listen, if something's touching you from below in an outhouse, you're not stopping to look to see if it's a Mexican mole lizard or a snake or a worm or a whatever. Like you're running, you're screaming, you're freaking out, and you're running.
Yeah.
Right. So they don't know. This guy for sure could. He looks pretty unassuming, but you don't know. He might. So, anyways, that's that. So I'll just give you a couple of facts about this guy.
Okay.
He's the only legless lizard with legs. It's literally how this puts it here. So he belongs to a group of legless lizards called I can't read that, Amphibus banians. The 3 species of Mexican mole lizards have their very own family called the Bipedidae due to their 2 small forelimbs. So it just means that they have 2 legs for walking, but they don't use hind legs at all. So he is a legless lizard with legs. If that makes any sense to you.
Legless lizard with legs.
With legs, yes, that's right. They move like worms in the underground. So they have scales. So that's I think what you're seeing behind me here is scales on it.
I'm very confused still why it's called a lizard.
I know. I guess because these 2 little arms, like I'm not even sure. But these scales are arranged in rings around their body, which allows them to retract and extend their bodies, kind of like a worm, right? They can accordion themselves to move. It says this, just like your earthworm. So this allows them to move through the dirt. Kenny, are you creeped out here? You seem to have checked out here a little bit.
No, I'm here.
You're thinking about it crawling into you in an outhouse is what you're thinking about.
I can't.
I just feel like as a man, you have a little bit less, although I was going to say less to worry about, but maybe not because they could bite things that are hanging. Here's that picture. I want to show you.
Here's
his little legs. Look at him.
See, that looks more like a lizard.
Yeah, but then you figure it's got 2 feet of tail behind it, and then he just moves like an earthworm. But he kind of looks like a mole. Like he literally has a mole's face. He's confusing. It's like a crossbred.
And they only live in Mexico? Like what is up with the name?
Apparently so. Yep. They're only in the Gulf of California. So like the Baja, Tijuana, like maybe,
so
down that peninsula there. I mean, unless you live in like San Diego, probably not. But
thank goodness.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you one more fact about these guys, and then we can move on.
Ron.
What do you say? It looks like a penis.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it, but I'm still trying to understand, the edit.
Really,
I want to know whose penis this looks like, because none that I've seen. Okay. Anyways, last fact about these guys: they hear through their skin. So in order to dig more efficiently, the Mexican mole lizard has to give up the luxury of having ears, but it hasn't hindered his ability to hear anything. It's evolved a system that can take direct vibrations. What?
No, I was reading what Ron said.
He's looking at Kenny. Yeah, he is. He's looking to bite whatever's dangling into that outhouse. Is what he's looking for.
Not me.
Did you say he hears through his skin?
Yeah, it says that it's evolved a system that can take direct vibrations from the skin of his cochlea. So, the part in our ears that is involved in hearing. And somehow he can absorb it through his skin in order to hear. So.
What is that thing with dolphins? What is it called?
Echolocation.
Echolocation, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like a term that they use for being able to hear through the skin.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really say much more about that. Oh, and to go further onto this, it does say that it is endemic to the Baja California Peninsula, meaning that they can't be found anywhere else in the wild on planet Earth. So they range from southwestern California down through western Baja California Sur to the Isthmus of La Paz and Western Cape region. So if you're going down that like little place where Cabo is, like down there, that's where they are. Kenny.
Yeah.
I saw why
You're Lily. You're Lily. Don't do it, Lily. Don't do it. Don't do it, Lily.
Okay.
Lily, don't do it. Don't do it.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Guys, I was being serious. I wasn't being rated R here. Okay.
Oh man.
Chakra says if your penis looks like that, you should see a doctor
Oh,
immediately.
why?
See
Why, Becky? Why?
Why
Becky?
do it?
Why? Why, Becky?
Oh,
Why?
that's what we weren't supposed to do? I don't know. Listen, as the moderator of
God.
today's show, I have to read the comments. It's just my
She's just
man.
doing what she's
duty.
told.
I'm supposed to do it. That's right. Okay, fine then, Kenny. Take us out of this rated R XXX conversation and let's go to stuffed animals, whatever that's about.
See? Do I give it to you? Do I give it to you?
Further into rated R.
Yeah, right. Kenny comes out as a furry on this show. Perfect.
Right. You have a tail. Whoop, tail.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Okay, all right. So this story creeped me out when I heard it.
Oh, perfect.
So a lot of men are buying stuffed animals. Yeah.
Great story.
Okay.
I know.
Next topic.
Great. The
I
end.
know.
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah, nothing else. So a lot of men. So a poll conducted in 2018 says, according to the studies, 84% of men own at least one stuffed animal.
Really?
Really?
84?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Kenny, how many do you own?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, back to the so this study also found that only 29% of adults would be bothered if their partner cuddled with a stuffed animal.
I feel like cuddled is a little off, but like owning it, maybe it's sentimental from childhood. But cuddling it seems a little much.
Oh, wait, how many? What was the percentage on that?
29%.
29% said that they would be upset.
So 71% are totally cool with it?
Totally cool with it.
I think I'm in that 29%.
It would bother you if someone was cuddling, right? I think it's. I had a partner that would cuddle with it's a stuffed animal with sentiment, right? They've had it since they were a child, but this person's 29 years old and they would cuddle with their stuffed animal and sleep with it.
Yeah.
At night. Like, what? Let's deep dive into your mental health.
That's right.
What's going on
I'm
here?
saying. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm married to my husband, and he's like, he's got to protect this house. Listen, if someone's breaking in, he better beat the out of that person. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, meanwhile, he's got like Mr. Cuddles here, and he's like, "Okay, good night, Mr. Cuddles." No, I don't know. It's weird to me.
There's something off. I'm sorry, Kenny, but what else? Because it seems like you got some facts or some statistics that are interesting.
So it says, in many ways, adults, both men and women, lash themselves onto teddy bears for the same reason as children. Adults sleep with stuffed animals because it brings them a sense of security and reduces negative feelings.
Okay.
Such as loneliness, anxiety, and anxiety.
Yeah, Becky, if your husband is out there, busting doors down to protect your family, he's not a person that cuddles with teddy bears.
He's not. You know,
I don't think anybody does that.
He had surgery in 2018, and he was, gosh, how old would he have been? 33, 34 years old at the time. And I remember his mom showed up with a stuffed animal, and it said like, "You're my champion" or something. And I was like, this is a grown man. This is your son. He owns a house. He owns a business. He's a grown man. He doesn't need this stuffed lion. And she's like, it's a lion. It reminds me of him. I was like, oh, lady. It was a lot. Yeah.
You are definitely the 29%.
I am. And so it's funny as well, like side note, like to further this, my daughter has like, she's big into squishmallows, which are like all the rage. And they're like big and they're very, very comfortable. I will occasionally steal one just to lay on, not because I want to like cuddle with it, but because it's very soft on my face. Like I feel very comfortable laying on it. I don't, if it was shaped like I don't know, like a round circle and not a duck or like a bear, that would be better for me. But like, I take what I can get. So I said to my husband, I'm like, I kind of want a squishmallow, but I want it to not have a face.
not have a face.
Like,
just put a bag on its head.
He's like, why? Why not? And I said, because it's weird. Like, it's weird for a 38-year-old woman to cuddle with a duck. Like, I just want it to be a soft, squishy pillow. That's all I want. So, Chakra says the strongest men are also the most sensitive. All busy adored down. I don't know what that means. Maybe kick a door down and fall asleep with a stuffed animal later that night. Okay, Chakra is like the best of both worlds here.
Okay, all right. That's weird. Okay, right.
That's weird. So go on, Kenny. I'm sure you have more to this topic.
So, I'm just saying I don't sleep with stuffed animals. Okay, all right. But this is just weird. I mean, 72% are like okay with it. I'm like,
yeah.
Do we know the uptick and why more men are buying stuffed animals? Are they for gifts? Are they cheaper now? I mean, I imagine everything's getting more expensive.
A memento of a past lover or something.
Yeah, are they buying it for women, their children, why?
They're either buying it for their lover, their children, or to sleep with.
That male loneliness epidemic is rising.
Yep. Lily knows. Yeah.
I went down, like, my algorithms are real wild because I look up some weird stuff on socials. And so now, like, if you look at my For You page, it is filthy, some of the stuff on there. But I came across this page once. It was for lonely people. And these were stuffed animals with moving parts that you can use for your own loneliness, let's say, in the privacy of your own home. And it was weird that it just like looked like a cute, innocent little stuffed animal, but then like things move and grow on it. So that's all I will say.
Okay. All right. So thank you.
Yeah, the Suzanne Summers robot. Exactly, Ron. Exactly.
Suzanne Summers.
2 weeks ago, the boys did a show about
showing my age.
Suzanne Summers' husband has created this weird little, or had this weird little robot created to look like Suzanne Summers and act like her. And we were saying, like, that's very creepy.
The robot looked like she was 12. Yeah, I was like, ew.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of romantic, right? I mean, like, think about it. It is his wife. He made a robot. So you can understand that. I mean, he didn't make a robot of somebody else, but that's where our future is going. Before you know it, everyone's going to have some sort of robot girlfriend, AI relationship of some sort. That is a little weird. How old is he? Do we know how old Suzanne Summers?
He's a very old man.
Oh, so why would he need a robot of her if he has
of her at 14?
Hey, right?
Is it a younger version? Is it a younger version of Susan? That makes sense. That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I'm trying to find pictures. Ron, if you've got some pictures, put them in the group chat because I don't know. Yeah, it is creepy. I think like at some point just you're gonna have to move on. Your wife passed and that sucks, but like you're 86, you could probably just move on. Oh, here it is. It doesn't even look like her. It just looks like a schoolgirl.
I told you.
Oh, I can't do it with my background on. I'll send it in the chat. Anyways, creepy. Very, very creepy.
Creepy.
Okay, well, we've got about 10 minutes left here. Let's dive into our last topic from Lily here. You were talking about generations.
Well, like once again on my show, I was thinking about who's the biggest jerks of generations.
Yes, perfect.
And there was some interesting stuff here because I'll just tell you, I'll just go through the list really quick. The greatest generation was from 1901 to 1927. Most of these people are probably dead.
Yes.
And then we got the silent generation, 1920s to 1940s. Then we got the baby boomers, 1946 to 1964. My parents, most people's parents are boomers. And then we go from that to Gen X. And Gen X is from 1965, I believe, to 1979, which leads to millennials, which is from 1980. that's where it starts. So most people would be like, well, 1981, 1980. So it goes from 1980 to 2001, I believe, and then follows Gen Z. Yeah, Gen Z's right after that. So I have a problem with Gen X. My whole problem is with Gen X because I feel that because they are the slacker generation, they kind of fell asleep at the wheel when it came to moving forward in society. I feel like when it came to Gen X, we kind of stopped our progression, because that's why I feel like millennials get so much crap for being the crybaby generation, the whiny generation, because we lost so much progression because of Gen X. So I deep dive into that because it's always boomers that are saying that they are the worst generation because the boomers have, benefited the most out of all the generations.
Right.
It's the boomers that have benefited. But there was just this really crazy comparison from the greatest generation, 1901, to Gen Z, and how much we have grown as a nation, where you had one who was dealing with like Great Depression, war all the time. And they had to go out and make money. And then you have Gen Z who now, want to be TikTok famous and content creators and not go to work. So just to create a comparison or stark contrast as to where we were 100 years ago to how we are now. I would not want Gen Z to go and fight a war for me.
No,
definitely not.
Certainly not.
But
they'd be like, I don't have any vape juice on the battlefield.
Yeah, I have no vape juice on the battlefield. And they also don't believe in war. So they probably would not be fighting. But yeah, I was just wanted to bring that up and see how you guys feel about the generations. Because I know I don't like Gen X.
That's you, Kenny.
As a whole.
That's you, Kenny.
Wait. Hold on.
I don't know. You won't tell me how old you are. You won't tell me what year you were born.
How you know it's me? It might not be me. It's Ron.
I know. Well, I mean, Gen Z? Are you Gen Z?
Okay, you two do not need to lose the vote. Okay, all right.
That's the black vote, in case you were wondering.
All right, yeah, don't lose the vote. Okay, all right. Because Becky loses it all the time, but sometimes
I earn it back.
Okay, she earns it back. You know what I'm saying? So let's not lose the vote.
The black vote.
Okay?
We need
the black vote.
Exactly, Lily. Okay. You in Seattle, so you definitely know. And Becky in Canada, so we need to
we have black people here also.
we have black
just
people.
If you're
here.
wondering. They also live here. No, I've got the black vote. I told Kenny, I'm like, if you saw the size of my butt in person.
There is no evidence.
I got the black vote. It's in my butt.
There is no evidence. There is no evidence.
Okay? That's right. Evidence. Yeah, I've never sent it, obviously.
No evidence. Thank you. No evidence, but So I don't know. Ron, tell him. Let him know, Ron.
How old are you, I guess, is the question everyone's wondering. What year were you born?
Are you a millennial or are you a Gen Xer?
I am old enough to be your cousin. Okay, all right. Maybe your uncle. Okay, all right. Maybe your uncle. Okay. Right.
Are you a boomer? You know what they say that black doesn't crack.
That's right. Say that. He could be 60 years old and you wouldn't even know.
65 years old.
You've got that porcelain skin.
And we don't know.
Totally. Or you could be 40 years old, or you could be 30 years old. It's unclear. Look at Will Smith. Does anyone even know how old this guy is? Absolutely not.
Absolutely. There you go. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Idris Elba. Beautiful.
Seriously.
Beautiful man. Gorgeous man.
50, 40,
I have no idea how old he is.
You straight bugging, Ron. I am not older than you. You bugging. No, not at all.
Okay.
So what do you think about weather?
I'm gonna say that Kenny's a Gen X, but I think he's probably like mid to late 70s. That's what I'm
guessing. Gen X. He's Gen X.
Iris here.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was a boomer and looked very young. I would not be surprised.
He just has a very good moisturizing routine.
Yeah.
His skin is so soft.
My friend Wayne, also a good friend, he's 65 years old. 65, does not look. I mean, it's you guys don't age like the rest of us.
Don't age. Yeah. Like I'm 38 looking 58, like, feel 28.
Melanin, because it's the melanin. We have melanin.
Avon calling.
Yeah, exactly.
See, he's showing his age. He's
exactly
boomer.
like Avon. What? Yeah,
Avon
us
calling?
millennials don't know
Avon
Avon.
calling?
That's funny. No, so Lily, I do agree with what you're saying here. Like I know as a millennial and as a millennial parent, I'm like, man, I'm soft on my kids. And then I'm like, but my parents were so mean to me all the time. Like they loved us, but like, I got hit for no reason because, I existed. You came in the room and it scared them. Well, you get a smack. Like, I got name called just because that's how you parented in the 90s.
Funny you bring that up, though. Millennials are the first generation. Well, Gen X were the first realists that knew that they didn't want a toxic family.
Right.
Or millennials are the first generation that have enacted cutting familial bonds. Like we will not deal with toxic families, or we will not treat our children the way that we have been treated. We are the first generation. So we're just very self-aware. We're more intuitive with who we are. We have more self-awareness. And so it's just funny that you brought that up because I learned that. I learned that.
Well, I just feel like sometimes I'm so soft on my kids, but then I think too, like, am I soft on them or, am I just giving them the things that I didn't have, like kindness, like,
or you're just logical. You're just logical, like a decent human being with your children.
And I'm thinking too, like growing up, like, don't get me wrong, I have a great relationship with my parents. My parents are the best, but like, it's just the way you parented in the 80s and 90s is just like, you just throw something at your kid because you can, and then you plunk them in front of the TV for 10 hours. And like, if they deviate from that, then they're in trouble. Right. So I'm like, I don't want that for my kids. And I do remember when my kids were young, starting off that way, just instantly go to yelling or like a spank. And then it was like, I don't want to parent my kids like that. Like it doesn't work. And I just remember like me becoming a little more self-aware, thinking like, do I have a bit of like, I don't know, self-worth issues or like insecurity issues because of the way I was brought up? And I was like, I don't want that. So when I see, my girls, because I've got 2 teenage daughters, my girls and like, let's say their stepdad or even with their real dad. And I'm like, you guys better work on that relationship because I'm not having some 2 OnlyFans here as kids, right? Like, because they're insecure. Like they need, I need to have solid relationships here between. So I think our generation is interesting in that, like you're saying, we're, the first to kind of cut out things or like be aware of what's going on, what's toxic, what's not toxic.
And it's basically because this came from my podcast, because this is an idea from my podcast, but the kids aren't all right. And it's all kids in every generation, the greatest generation, the silent generation,
right?
Because they all married young and then they had kids young. So that's why I feel there's so much abuse before our time, because it's kids raising kids and not knowing how to navigate through life because they are getting married really young and they have to go out there and make a living. So that's why we are all dealing with all these, mental illnesses that people have now, millennials, and just bringing more awareness and these traumatic events that happen in our lives. Like I can't walk down the street without knowing that, that person, was abused when he was a child, or that person was neglected when they were a child. Like it's everywhere. And it's not because there's an uptick in this abuse. It's always been there. It's just now that we are more comfortable to talk about it now in the world.
And I also think it is relative to the time. Kids today may not be being beaten by any means, but they sure should have a parent who doesn't pay attention to them because they're on their phone 24/7. It's still abuse. It still causes trauma in a child, or it still causes that wedge, the resentment, whatever, insecure feelings, because that attachment isn't there. Because, instead of having your parent do things with you, be into what you're doing, you have a mom who's just sitting here like this the entire day. And I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah. I mean, I've done that. I do that too. I do that with my
Totally.
children. And when you're out and about at a restaurant or whatever, the kid has their iPad. I mean, it is a great babysitter. So
Totally.
it's just balance. It's constant balance, just like everything in life. It's
totally
constant balance.
I love it. I'm excited to listen to your show. Like these are some good topics, my friend.
Yeah, I have some great topics, but
I love it.
Soon when I launch it.
Wait.
But
Well,
I will
we'll
listen
plug
to your
it.
show.
Yeah,
I didn't know. Do you have a show too, Kenny?
No, I'm just on Rhode Island Broadcasting.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
So if you like sports, if you like NBA, Kenny's your guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Okay, good. Yeah. We need that on my trivia team. So I wish you were. We play a trivia every week, and man, sports is not my. Sports is not my thing.
Right.
But you don't live in Seattle, Kenny. So
no,
unfortunately, you will not be on the trivia team. Okay, well, that's it for today's show. We were a little bit over, but a really good show. I'm happy you're here. I can't wait to do more shows with you and see, how you interact with our other people.
Yeah.
Kenny, as always, love you. Happy you're here.
Love you too.
Tomorrow, you can check out Kenny and Ron, and Adam is going to be back again to try things out. Hopefully his sound is a little bit better tomorrow. We will see. But yeah, check us out on all of our socials and follow us at these things beside me here. You can watch us live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, and of course, 7 a.m. Pacific Time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Have
everyone.
a good day. Bye.
Bye.